It was the middle of October when leaves had fallen and the breeze got colder. A time when life was full of mystery, and candidates fought for the presidency. 4 politicians embark on a quest to prove to others that they are the best.
Among them included a woman of high stature,
an arrogant orange full of swagger,
a president who worsened the national debt,
and an adulterer who no one can forget.
The journey to Lincoln Memorial would be an experience most surreal, for they are searching for an answer to the low American standard. Along the way, a tale will be heard from each of the members, that is assured. The rules are to be the most creative, while also being the most innovative. The oldest shall lead, while the shortest shall follow. The victor receives a cookie not hollow.
In his early life, he attended Yale. The best of the best, he couldn't fail. A military man through and through, he served for 68 to 82. But politics is where he found his fame. Soon Governor Bush would be his name. But after this, he still wasn't done. His rise to presidency had only begun. 2000 was the year of the election. Bush or Gore, that was the selection. After much controversy, he finally won. His journey as president had finally begun. He has much to learn and ideas to grow. To the Lincoln Memorial he must go. The monument is where he will learn to be the greatest leader in history.
3 brothers were born on the very same day, to the wealthiest family in Texas, some say. Their parents worked tirelessly, day and night, to keep their business running smooth and right. The boys were all spoiled, it was easy to see. They were given whatever they wanted, for free.
Trashed the house and wrote on the wall, but none of them were ever punished at all. Throughout school, they passed all their grades, because the schools are who the parents paid.
None of the boys ever made a friend, but for a reason they couldn't comprehend. They convinced themselves other kids were a bore. They already got what they wanted and more. 7th grade, they joined the school talent show, but they were all void of talent from head to toe. Towards all other students, they still held a grudge. They won the whole show by paying off the judge. They got into the best college money could buy. When asked how they did it, they would make up a lie. The parents hired people to do all the boys' work, while the boys went to parties and acted like jerks.
It was finished, none studied or tried. Only 1 year later, the boys' parents both died. Their parents were never really around. When they heard the news, there wasn't a sound. The business was theirs. The brothers thought they would thrive, except they put in no effort, showed no drive. Their company struggled for almost a year. The brothers' advisors knew bankruptcy was near.
They quickly surrendered. The business sold out. Hard work was not what the boys were about. They made almost nothing off the business they sold, and lived off parents' savings until they grew old. None of them married, but they were all content, for they still had money after all they had spent. They soon grew too old to be living alone. It was decided they'd move to a home. 3 grumpy old men, and all very rude. Nobody at the home liked them for their bad attitudes. One day at dinner, alone they all sat. A man approached and wanted to chat. He asked about accomplishments, what they had done, but no one could answer, not even one.
Donald Trump was a man of great riches. He showed little respect, especially towards the bitches. However, he displayed financial finesse. From Trump Tower, he commanded an unstoppable business. Hands down, a leader on The Apprentice, but when elections came, people questioned his fitness. Just as a representative, no, he wasn't fat, but he expletive phrases like grab her right in the cat. Whether he wins or loses, come hear his tale, because either way, it's America that will fail. One warm summer day, a man sailing on his yacht entered U.S. waters without giving a second thought. He docked his vessel, noticing many men colored brown. When he looked for his ID, he began to frown. The land of New York is where he had docked. On his way to customs, he pondered and thought how all the minorities in prison were not. He met a man working the customs reception. To our hero, this clerk radiated deception. The man was dressed in a phobe and named Tom. The adventurer yelled in distress, "Bomb!"
Bomb!
A uniformed officer arrested him immediately. As he rode to jail, his concern grew infinitely. Wouldn't be morning before he could make bail. He didn't want to spend the night in a cell. Sharing quarters with thugs sounded like hell. The female guard eyed him upon entry. He tried to think of a way to appeal to the sentry. She offered him a bargain for freedom, his intimate company for the key given to him. Now being free from the prison, he stepped out into the cool autumn season. He needed to get back to the ship. He still had yet to attain citizenship. And while his troubles did not seem slight, his hardships were just beginning for the night. The street he walked was full of blue colors. The men called each other bro, but were not brothers. He entered an alley with all lights out. Within a moment, he heard a shout. He didn't know what to say of the sound, except for come morning he wouldn't be found. The robber threatened, money or die. He released his wallet in a defeated sigh. The robber judged it insufficient. The manner the blade was drawn was most efficient. All he saw was the flash of the knife. The blade sliced his throat, ending his life. And so became a man with little respect. His life ends with no words or money left.
Bill Clinton, president in a peaceful time, was nearly impeached for a heinous crime. He is unfaithful as a husband, falling for the woman with cakes and muffins. A man who cannot control his feelings should not be involved in political dealings. His blue eyes portray his attractiveness, yet his gray hair reveals his acridness. His mouth is as cunning as a sly fox. He looks incredibly stupid when he gawks. Yet with all of these faults, he is still respected. Yes, he must have been, since he got elected. But enough about that. Sit down and grab an ale, and behold the president's bodacious tale. In the town of Salem hailed a wealthy man, the most attractive of all, a man named Dan. He wanted someone gorgeous to love in his life, who felt that no lady could be his wife. As he pondered his options, a lady walked by. Her name was Haley, and she could satisfy. Her kiss was something no man could resist, and her gaze made any man feel amiss. The man fell in love, and they were quickly wed, and vowed not to depart until they were dead. And just when it seemed all good and well, the man had a feeling that he could not quell. After his wedding, he walked the streets alone, for this would be his last time on them on his own. As he walked, he came across a lonely damsel, named Bailey, who could cause a scandal. Dan thought little of the consequences, and spent the night with her, ignoring his senses. When Dan returned home, Haley was curious, and in response, Dan told her something spurious.
Don't worry, my love, I would never cheat, for you are my one and only, my sweet.
So the day went on with Haley oblivious, but little did she know that Dan was devious. After this day, Dan continued his affair, cheating on his wife without a care. He did not expect this plan to backfire when Dan met her family and all went haywire. It began with Dan and Haley waiting. For an hour, it seemed, their hearts were pulsating. Soon after, the family had arrived, a little longer and they would have felt deprived. Everything seemed normal until Dan saw her. She could expose him, which he must deter. As Bailey walked in, Dan could not fathom it. The truth may come out that he is a hypocrite. As Dan panicked, he began to pause, and he wanted to know what her relation was. Quietly, Haley told Dan in a whisper,
Forgive me, my love, for she is my sister.
Forced to face the truth of his actions, Dan felt as if his whole world was crashing. He told Haley what he had done secretly, but argued that it was done unfeelingly. Nonetheless, Haley forgave him for this act, though an act like this would have gotten him slapped. Dan wondered why Haley wasn't saddened, and didn't even look one bit damaged. Now suddenly Haley looked all withdrawn. It was as if Haley knew all along.
Out the womb in 47, some would say she's a gift from heaven. When she was little, she wanted to be an astronaut, flying high like Steph Curry's 3. But denied because she wasn't a man, she took up arms and devised a plan. Yale Law School is where she would attend, the rules of society she wanted to bend. Women should have power too, can't you see? That's why she's running for presidency. Our trip takes us deep down under the sea, where all the aquatic animals live in glee. Our trip takes us to a hermit crab named Max, who some would say lived his life quite relaxed. But Max had a secret none would know. He was jealous of his best friend. His name was Mo. Mo is a turtle who lived nearby in a coral reef. What a cool guy. None had ever met a turtle so chill. He rode a tide to Cali, all the way from Brazil. All of the girls loved to flirt with Mo. His smile was so radiant, his face would glow. Max, unfortunately, was not so lucky. He couldn't get girls. It was really quite sucky. Max was angry, and out of jealousy, he spread rumors of Mo to an insane degree. The rumors first spread to a manatee, then to the pirates of the Caribbean Sea. Max had done something truly awful. I'm sure this had to be unlawful. The next time Mo went out, he was a laughingstock. He was so embarrassed, he hid under a rock.
You suck.
Max had made himself out to be the greatest hermit crab to live in Cali. Girls came all the way from Djibouti to find the great Max, but they were sad to see. Max wasn't nearly as great, they all agree, as the turtle Mo, who they all missed dearly.
Where's Mo?
Everyone soon began to ask. They threatened Max.
You better complete the task. Find Mo.
They shouted at the top of their gills, "If you don't, we'll throw you into the pelican's bills." Max denied starting the rumor. He began to panic. He thought about fleeing to the South Atlantic. But he left and decided to look for his friend, because he was worth more than a silly girlfriend. Where could he be? He couldn't comprehend. All Max wanted to do was make amends. He searched all day and night and finally found his dear friend Mo lying dead on the ground.
I will remember you.
Mo had been attacked by a great white shark and left for dead down deep in the dark. Max cried for his friend back. It's all that he wanted. For the rest of his life, his mind would be haunted. A stupid secret that caused him to lie, and now he's living without the most wonderful guy.
Say it ain't so.